What's up, y'all? I'm back out here at the range on a cloudy fall day. Temperature hadn't even quite hit 70, so the clouds are definitely keeping it nice and keeping that sun covered up, so I ain't complaining one bit. I'm losing the leaves off my shade tree fast out here, so any little bit of help I can get, I'll take. So far, I've gotten a good 9mm test done, and this one right here is some more 10mm. So the jelly contraption's ready to go with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now, again, I have done one 9mm test. I'll leave a link up above if y'all hadn't seen that one, but other than that, we got a nice clear set of blocks to roll with. I'm using my heavy clothing barrier, of course. It's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got for this one is another round from Sellier and Bellot. To be more specific, it's another one of their XRG rounds, or XRG, however you want to say it. Now, this XRG line is their solid copper expander, so this is 10mm, and this is a 130 grain solid copper expander. Now, I can already tell you right now, just based on the ballistics alone with this stuff, it ain't gonna be for me in any kind of way. They're saying 1,362 feet per second with a 130 grain projectile, but the worst part of all is just like every S&B round that I've tested that I can remember recently, that is gotten from a 6-inch barrel, which in my opinion, even though this is a 10mm, and yeah, it can definitely be used for hunting purposes, that is just not indicative of what most people are going to be carrying as far as 10mm barrel length. And even if I did have a 6-inch barrel to test this stuff out of, 1,362 feet per second from a 6-inch barrel with a 130 grain projectile is plumb pitiful when it comes to 10mm, if you ask me. But we're gonna give them a chance on the big jelly stage anyway. There you can see the cartridge, no nickel plating or anything. You got that big wide opening on that solid copper expander. And as far as what I'm testing them out of out here today, I just realized I still had my 9mm set out, so no, I ain't running them out of 9mm. I've got a couple different barrel lengths here. For the shorty, this is my current EDC, the G29 with the 3.8-inch barrel, and then for the full size, I've got the G20 here with the 4.5-inch barrel. So I would say this ought to be a good one, but I'll just say this should be interesting. Let's get it all set up and see what happens. All right, y'all, let's see what kind of velocities we get from this stuff. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with this G29 first. Now, if y'all aren't familiar with this lab radar, you're gonna see multiple velocity readings. Your large numbers at the muzzle here, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one of those is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet. And then I've got the others set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Now remember, the box on this is saying 1,362 from a 6-inch barrel. If that truly is from a 6-inch barrel, then it will be sub 1,300 right here, which ain't cutting it for no 10mm. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's weak. 1204, yeah, nah, y'all. I mean, this feels weak. Another 1204. 1195. 1199. And 1203, that right there is absolutely pitiful for 10mm. Let's look at the average. All right, y'all, there's weak 10mm, and then there's S&B Exergy. This stuff right here is terrible. We had a 5-round average of 1,201 feet per second. Now, one thing I will give it credit for is it's incredibly consistent. And I'm remembering correctly, all of this Exergy stuff has been, you had an extreme spread of 9 with a 4 standard deviation. But the problem is, who really cares if it's consistent, if it's consistently weak as pond water? Y'all, 1201, that's giving this stuff the energy that is right there at my threshold of what I accept for 9mm energy. I mean, I've sent some 9mm that's actually got more energy than this right here. So yeah, no, this right here definitely ain't the 10mm for me. Let's get it reset and see what the G20 does. All right, let's see how much more this G20 can manage to squeeze out of it. I ain't expecting much of anything good. Yeah, this stuff's so weak. 1225. I mean, this stuff is horrible. 1246. I mean, it feels weak. It is weak. It's just weak. 1240. Oh man, and 1247, I mean, this right here, I've ran 40 Smith & Wesson that just embarrasses this right here. Let's check out the average. All right, y'all, once again, absolutely terrible. 5-round average from the G20 was 1,244 feet per second. Again, I've run many 40 Smith & Wesson rounds that's way stronger than that, and I'm pretty sure, just some quick math, I've probably run some plus P plus 9mm that's still out outdoes this 10 mil from a G20. Extreme spread on this was 37 with a 13.4 standard deviation. So 1244, and again, if you remember out that G29, it was 1201, so 43 feet per second difference between them. Now, all this being said, they're probably still going to perform in the gel. It's a solid copper expander. I mean, you basically got a nice 40 Smith & Wesson solid copper expander, so I expect it to perform in the gel. But unless it pulls out some kind of absolute miracle, it definitely ain't giving us 10 mil performance. But let's get it all set up. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's Sellier and below acceptable jelly time. I'm gonna put one through each barrel length into the gel, starting with this 29 first. Again, I think we're gonna see some good performance down here, but we ain't gonna see no 10 mil performance. I can guarantee that. All right, that was perfectly placed. Let's go check it out. All right, y'all, that's pretty much what I expected down there. That stuff hit the gel at under 1200 feet per second. I've literally got 9 mil that's stronger than this 10 mil right here. This stuff is just pitiful. This is really, I mean, this is honestly embarrassingly bad for 10 mil. It really is. There's no sense in sugarcoating it. This stuff is bad. All right, that should have been another perfect placement. Let's go check this stuff out. All right, y'all, let's take us a quick look at this pitiful excuse for a 10 mil. As you can see, it looks pretty here in the gel. I mean, it looks like some nice performance. And I mean, it performed nicely, all except the penetration. The penetration's still too short. And as far as performance for a 10 mil, it's absolutely not even close. I mean, not even in the same universe as far as 10 mil power. But on the top here, of course, that was the first one through the G29. You can see here it comes in, immediate expansion, no doubt about it. Nice energy transfer right there, pretty much all the way through its track. Looks like it's probably about 4 inches, so it may be right at 12 inches of penetration, and it does have some nice expansion. And then up under that, of course, that's the one from the G20. Basically the same exact thing here. You can't tell any difference. They look nearly identical. Nice disruption all the way through here, and then again, the same exact penetration. I mean, exactly the same, and some really good expansion again. And as for how much on the penetration, the one from the G29, it's at exactly 12.5 inches, and the G20 actually went a little bit further. It's at 12.75 inches. So both of them technically made that FBI minimum, if that's what you go by, but y'all know I personally want more than that. And again, for a 10 mil, that's totally unacceptable. And here's your close-up look. Again, nice pretty tracks in the gel, but this ain't a beauty contest. I mean, it just ain't a beauty contest. As you can see, all the way through there, nearly identical penetration, just a little bit more from that G20, and some really nice expansion from both. And then here from above, I kind of got to angle you because they're right on top of each other. Pretty much the same thing. Again, very nice disruption, nice energy transfer, and really nice expansion. All right, let's check out these projectiles. Pretty much as with all copper expanders that even halfway work decent, really impressive looking stuff when they expand. You can see very nice symmetrical expansion from these solid copper expanders. So really nice performance. Again, you can see now this one's from the G20, this is from the 29. I don't know how good it'll come through in camera, but there is a little bit more expansion on this one. The pedals are more closer to 90 degrees than they are with this G29, but that's just nitpicking stuff, just checking out these projectiles. It doesn't matter either way, because in my opinion, there's absolutely no reason to carry these in a 10 mil. Absolutely no reason, because you're literally getting 40 and 9 mil even, that low of a performance level from these. And you know, you might can say, well, you know, you don't want the strongest thing for 10, but this is just way too weak. There is absolutely no excuse for carrying this weak of a 10 mil load. But let's get some measurements on them and see what we got there. They both started at 130 grains. I doubt they lost anything. This one from the G20 is at 130.0 grains, so nothing lost there. The one from the G29 is 129.8 grains. So again, I would say nothing lost there, just manufacturing tolerances. And then as far as expansion, we'll do the G20 first. You got 624 and 646, so really nice even expansion there. And then this one from the G29, you got 621 and 625. So again, a tiny bit less expansion right here, but basically negligible as far as the difference. And there you have it, y'all, the S&B Exergy 10 mil round. I think I've said all I need to say as far as my opinion about this stuff. It's terrible. I think it's absolutely terrible, 100% unacceptable in any way. As far as the 10 mil, absolutely no question unacceptable. And there's no sense in carrying something this weak, even if you're one of those who wants a lower power 10 mil round. This stuff is just way too weak. You're just adding so much larger of a tool size, much more weight from the tool. I mean, there's just absolutely no reason at all to carry this weak of a 10 mil round. All right, y'all, I'm gonna call this one right there for a pretty doggone sad 10 mil performance. Really, anything else I say about this stuff at this point is just gonna be piling on, because there is nothing good to say about it. In my opinion, there is absolutely nothing good to say about this right here. Even going back to the consistency, it doesn't matter. If it's consistently weak, who even cares how consistent it is? So yeah, obviously my opinion on this stuff is absolutely no way would I personally pick this up. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think about it. Do any of y'all out there actually have some of this S&B 130 copper stuff in 10 mil? Do you carry it if you do have it? If you are carrying it, have you ever tested it? After seeing what it does out here, are you rethinking that? Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you've got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload stuff. Y'all check out them affiliate links in the video description. Anything you grab after checking those links out, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Big thanks once again to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got one more really interesting test planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.